Multiplayer might be something that FromSoftware has often had great success with the asynchronous multiplayer elements that it has included in its Soulsborne titles over the years, but an out-and-out multiplayer title isn't necessarily something that you would expect to see from the studio. Nonetheless, Elden Ring Nightreign is set to deliver what's looking like an intriguing 3-player co-op PvE roguelike action RPG experience, taking the bones of 2022 seminal Elden Ring and putting a unique twist on FromSoftware's familiar and lauded formula. Upon its launch, the game will have 8 different classes playable in the form of unique characters known as Nightfarers, and ahead of its launch, here, we're going to take a look at each one and everything that we know about them. Wilder. Let's start things off with the Wilder, a classic jack-of-all-trades class that doesn't specialize in any one specific thing, but can adequately hold its own in several different ways. Perhaps the class that most will be starting out with, the Wilder comes equipped with a greatsword and a shield, and can wear medium armor into battle. Where stats are concerned, the class touts a decent balance across speed and combat capabilities, while it also comes equipped with an arm-mounted crossbow that, in addition to shooting out explosive bolts, can also shoot out a grappling hook. That, as you may imagine, will put a different twist on traversal and the way you navigate your surroundings, and can also be used to pull enemies closer to yourself. Wilder's ultimate, Onslaught Stake, launches an explosive iron stake that does massive damage. Meanwhile, the class's passive ability, dubbed Sixth Sense, lets you resurrect once upon death, which, as you might imagine in a game such as this one, or well, any other really, can be quite useful. Iron Eye. Iron Eye is your classic ranged or sniper class, which means that the stats that it specializes in above all others is dexterity. Elden Ring Nightreign's bows have in fact been improved over the original game specifically to make ranged builds much more viable. In addition to being an effective ranged DPS character and being particularly useful for reviving allies from a distance, Iron Eye also has quite a few useful abilities that will benefit other players as well. The class's passive ability, for instance, increases drops from enemies, while the marking skill not only leaves foes more vulnerable to damage from others, but also serves as quite an effective movement ability. The Iron Eye class can also use its ultimate single shot to unleash a high damage supersonic arrow at an enemy. Reckluse. For players who want to play with a build that focuses on magic and sorcery, the Reckluse is the way to go. Armed with powerful magic abilities and a zippy movement moveset, but a low health pool at the same time, this is the sort of class that will require skill and patience, but will yield equal rewards once you get your claws into it. So far it seems, at least. The class's passive ability, Elemental Defense, allows you to restore your FP through elemental residues around you, making it easier to keep firing off spells. Meanwhile, the ultimate ability, Soul Blood Song, serves as an excellent support ability for the full squad, temporarily marking enemies with blood sigils that will restore a little bit of you and your companion's health and magic every time you attack them. Duchess. Rounding out the base 4 classes is the Duchess, your regular rogue or thief archetype, with ample dexterity and agility and affinity for dodging attacks with grace and attacks that don't do a ton of damage but are dealt out at speed. The class's passive ability enhances your dodging abilities in several ways. From adding a double dodge to improving your base dodge animation's iframes, the Duchess can also use the restage skill, which takes all the damage that an enemy has suffered in a short window and then doubles it. That, as you might imagine, can be quite deadly when used smartly. Finally, the ultimate renders you and your allies invisible for a handful of seconds. Guardian. Without a doubt, one of Elden Ring Nightreign's fancier and more high-flying Nightfarers, pun certainly intended. The Guardian is a heavy-hitting tank in the shape of a bird-like humanoid. In addition to being equipped with a giant shield and heavy armor for optimal defense stats, the Guardian is also able to dole out slow but hard-hitting attacks, using a halberd as a starting weapon. The Guardian's Whirlwind ability lets you attack enemies with a strong wind attack that you summon with your wings. Speaking of which, you also use your wings as your ultimate, Wings of Salvation, which sends you leaping up at a great height, which can also be useful for traversal, following which you can also dive back down with a strong attack. Revenant. The Revenant is one of the Elden Ring Nightreign classes that we know the least about so far, with Bandai Namco and FromSoftware not yet having revealed an awful lot about the Nightfarer. We do know that the Revenant's primary ability will be using spirit ashes to summon phantasmal skeletal allies that will then fight alongside you. Primarily meant as a support class, the Revenant seems to be going for the kind of gameplay experience that players will likely want to dive into and commit to once they've fully gotten to grips with the more basic classes. Exeutor. A more specialized melee class, the Exeutor is a katana-wielding warrior that Sekiro fans are likely going to get plenty of enjoyment out of, based on the gameplay that we have seen for the Nightfarer so far. The Exeutor will be able to deal precise and nimble hits that will deal high damage, while deflecting and parrying attacks will also be key to the class's playstyle. The Cursed Sword skill will lend you enhanced deflecting abilities with a special stance, while the class's ultimate ability, Aspects of the Crucible, will let you take the form of a primordial beast and wreak havoc as a giant monstrosity for a short window. It's definitely a different flavor from what the rest of the game's classes have on offer, by the looks of it. Raider. The Raider is a fast-moving, melee-focused class that combines speedy movement with up-close combat that is capable of dealing high damage, when used correctly, of course. The class starts out with a giant axe as its base weapon and can exploit its high strength stat to dole out massive punishment to foes. The Raider's Retaliate skill is also a supremely strong punch that not only deals quite a bit of damage, but is also more or less guaranteed to stagger most enemies that you strike it with. Thanks to the class's passive ability, meanwhile, you also cannot be knocked down yourself when using Retaliate. The ultimate, Totem Stella, is also quite an effective one, allowing you to summon a giant tombstone that deals damage to foes, boosts nearby allies, and, as a bonus, can also be used as a platform to climb on top of as a vantage point. The Iron Eye class in particular might find those tombstones quite useful. Hey, did you know that we at Gaming Bolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.